In this tutorial, I'm going to cover how to style the look and feel for a Frontly app. So let's begin. To start, what I'm going to do is view. This is how your standard preview window of your app will look like. You would have the name of your app, and you would see some standard colors, which is applied to the button out here. So what we'll do is configure this and make some changes to this. So let's go to the Frontly backend. And so we go there. In the Frontly backend, if you see, what I've done is I have created 3 pages: e-commerce, inventory, and user. All these pages are linked to the standard Frontly database or Excel sheet, which gets added to your Google Sheets when you basically have an account with Frontly. All of these are basically simple pages. All it contains is a table block, and that table block is basically this, which is assigned to that specific sheet in the spreadsheet. So let's go back. And what we're going to do is we're going to configure the look and feel for this application. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first go into settings. And under settings, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a name change. So let me just call this UI for my application, my app. Or save this. So what I'm going to do out here is now go to the preview plane. And in the preview plane, if I refresh this, you'll see UI for my app. And that's how you would change the title for your application. But once you add a logo, that's not going to be seen. And I'll show you what happens when you add a logo out there. Apart from the general settings out here, which we just changed the name of the app, you could change the logo. Now you can see the small little icon out here. You could basically click on it. It'll allow you to upload a logo from your computer. So I'm just going to click on the browse button, select a logo which I created previously. As you can see, that's uploaded out here, and I say apply. And before I do that, I'll make one small change. I'm going to change the primary color, and generally that color is used in multiple places of your Frontly application. So if you can click on it, and I'm going to choose a shade of blue, which kind of closely matches or somewhat matches my logo color. And I'm just going to apply this. So what I'm going to do is go back to the preview plane now. In the preview plane, if I refresh this, you will see that the logo got added, and you can see the primary color got added to the button. And what I'm going to do is basically sign in with the credentials of the user. And if you signed in, you will see that's got these 3 pages with individual blocks out there. The other thing you will notice is basically the color of text in the navigation got changed because of the primary color. It's got the primary color out there. And that's how the primary color affects the left navigation or the buttons. As you can see, the buttons out here. Right? Let's make a few other changes. Let's go back to the backend. And in the backend, you will see there's an option for a favicon. So what I could do is I could change the favicon. So click on that arrow, click on browse, select your file, upload it, and press done. And you can see that's the favicon. And let me just save these changes and quickly have a look in the preview plane. So in the preview window, you will see if I refresh that the favicon got changed. And that's basically how your favicon can be changed. The other change, what you would like to do is probably remove the Frontly branding for your application, or you can leave it on there. But if you wanted to remove it, what you would do is go back to the configuration and just say hide Frontly badge, save that changes. And what I'm going to do simultaneously, since I'm out here, is add a navigation logo. But before that, what I'm thinking of doing is change the navigation background color. So I'm just going to change the background color to say somewhat of a blue shade, a little darker, because I want the text to be visible. So I'm going to choose a dark background. And when you choose a dark background color for your navigation, make sure you choose a light text color so that the text is visible. And you see out here that also the order of the pages can be changed. So the order seems to be right now as inventory, e-commerce, user. But if you wanted user to be first, you can basically drag that over just with the handle. I think the entire region can be dragged over. So say if I wanted to move inventory to the end, I have user, e-commerce, inventory, and I save these changes. So let's go back to my application, what the user sees. I just refresh this page, and you can see that the logo remains the same, but my background color has changed. My text color for my buttons or my pages are now lighter, and it looks fine. It's just that the logo is an issue. Now I'll show you how to fix that. So let's go back to the back end again. In the back end, if you'll see that out here at the top of branding, there's something called as a navigation logo. Now, since our background is basically a dark background, I would recommend using a white logo or a light colored logo. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose a light colored logo. I click on the browse button and I choose this logo, a white logo. And you can't see it out here because white on white. And so so I save that. And then once I save that, let me go to the preview window and I refresh it. You will see now that the logo got applied. It's a white logo with the buttons or basically the page links on the left hand side on a dark background. Now, say you wanted to change, I think I don't like I want to match this color with the button color. So, or vice versa. Let me just change that quickly. So what I'm going to do is change the primary color to match this color. So let me just copy the hexadecimal value from here, primary, paste that in there, make that change. And since we are here, let's make one more change. Let's change the navigation type. That's basically the layout of how the menu will be displayed for the pages. So I'm just going to change it to header. I do save these changes. So let's go back to the preview. So under preview, if I refresh this page, now what you'll notice is the layout got changed to a header view, and the button color also got changed because I changed that color. You have one more option to change or basically style for these page icons out here. And I'll show you how to do that. So let's go back to the backend. Now in the backend, what you could do is basically go into pages and say you wanted to change the icon. Let's say I wanted to change it for user. So I can click on this, and sometimes it might select the table because that's the block which is out here. So you could click on the page in the breadcrumb area out here, and it'll show you the page settings. So under the page settings, you'll see there's something called as navigation icon. You can change that. Or if you wanted to change the title of your what do you call navigation, you can change that. So if you want something like user details, right, and that'll get applied to the navigation out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change a different icon. So say, let me just see, show more icons, and let me see some more. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly choose something. Let's choose this. Okay. And I can save the changes. It automatically gets saved. Just save the changes. And then go back to the preview plane. And I'm just going to refresh this. Now, when you refresh this, you'll see that not only the name has changed, user details, but also an icon has been added. And that's the way you would normally change an icon for a specific page. Let me see if I missed out anything else. What I want to cover is the settings. So we did cover changing the name of the application. You could also set the default page the user should land on when they first visit the website or the application. So say if you wanted the user when they sign in to only land on user details, that you could choose that and you can make those changes. And then you could change the primary color, the logo, the navigation, the favicon, hide the frontly images, and basically make changes to the navigation. So we did cover all of that. Something which I wanted to cover apart from that is if you see these three images which we just uploaded, gets automatically stored under the assets section of your Frontly app. Oh, I don't see it. Let me just refresh it. You do see it now. Looks like there was a previous copy out here too. So say if you wanted to, if you had already uploaded an image, and you can directly upload an image from here. So say if and I don't have a sample to show you, but say the way you would do it is basically you would browse to your screen, choose an image, and then upload it out here. If you use this technique of uploading your images, then what you could do is you can just go over here for whichever image you want to use, say copy link, go into the settings panel, and say if you wanted to change the logo out here, what you would do is you would select the edit button, and in the edit button, instead of selecting browse, you would go into web address and paste the link. So you should see your link out here, and then you can just save that. So that's the way you would do it if you already have an existing asset and you want to use that link for changing logos. I think those are the things which I wanted to cover for styling. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them to me in the comment section.